Good to see you, my friends. Now, as promised, I have another tale from a Bardling for you. Oh, yes. This one is Dylan's, age 6, from Cathilly. So, my thanks to you, Dylan, especially now, as I can tell it straight to Gale, to spread all over Avalon, oh yes! So, if you're ready, I'll tell you the tale of the giant once a friend. Once an age ago, there stood a forest tall, proud and green. On one side of the forest lay the town of Barkhaven. On the other, a lonely hut. This hut was no ordinary hut, however. It was a truly enormous hut. Inside lived the giant Hormar. Early one morning, Hormar was taking his usual stroll through the forest. The sun was shining, birds fluttered hither and thither, and the trees whispered secrets in the breeze. Hormar loved the forest at this time of day. He reached a fork in the road, as he usually did, but he decided to take the right fork as opposed to the left. He followed the winding path until he came to the border of Barkhaven. The square was deserted. A sleepy silence hung over the village. Hormar rested his hand on the wall and peered over, examining the minuscule buildings curiously. All of a sudden, the wall began to crumble. Hormar tried to correct himself, but lost his balance and tripped, demolishing a large section of the wall. Alerted to the crashing, the villagers came storming out of their houses. They took in the crumbling wall, the dust flying, and spotted the giant towering over them. "He's attacking our village!" they shouted. "Chase him away!" A great swarm of hunters flew at Hormar, waving their staffs and shouting. Hormar fled, terrified. The next morning, Hormar approached the village again, determined to explain, but again he was driven away. This continued for many weeks, a pattern of Hormar creeping to the wall, villagers screaming, "Ah, he's attacking!" and hunters attacking him. One day, a young, strong elf named Armo stood up after one such interaction.
"I've had it!"
he cried to the villagers.
"Not content with breaching our borders, this beast insists on returning day after day to torment us. See how he continually thwarts our attempts to mend his damage."
Sure enough, the wall still stood broken and crumbling. A pair of guards had been stationed on either side of the hole.
"I will go to the beast and see he never returns."
A great cheer rose up from the crowd as Armo donned his cape and strode out of the hole in the wall into the forest. Armo was a skilled tracker and soon spotted the trail that Hormar had left on his many ventures to Barkhaven. He followed the trail, keeping to the shadows. Soon enough, he heard the rumble of Hormar's voice. Armo drew his sword and crept closer. Hormar was hunched over, a poor, defenseless creature. Armo was sure he was tormenting it somehow and raised his sword. Just then, the animal stood up on shaky legs, a bandage tied neatly around its front leg.
"There you go. Try to stay away from the brambles next time."
He gently patted the animal on the head, and the animal limped away. Hallmar smiled after it, sighed happily, closing his eyes and raising his face to the sun. Hallmar was puzzled. Why did the giant help that animal? He stepped forward, and a twig snapped under his foot. Hallmar's eyes snapped open, and he whipped his head around. Armo raised his sword higher still, ready for the attack. However, Hallmar raised his hands, his eyes wide with fear.
Please don't hurt me! Why have you followed me? Please don't hurt me!
He sounded so pitiful. Then Armo couldn't help feeling sorry for him, just a bit. He lowered his sword slightly.
All right, giant, I'll leave you be, but you're never to come back to Barkhaven again, and enough of your taunting. Taunting? I just wanted to explain. I never meant to break your wall. I promise. I was just looking at your village and the wall crumbled through my hands.
Armo hesitated. It was common knowledge that the town wall was very old and needed repairing. He lowered his sword.
Why did you help that creature?
He asked curiously. Hallmar beamed.
I look over the whole forest. I made it my job to help anyone who needs me.
Armo snorted.
I suppose you could help us?
He asked sarcastically. Hallmar's eyes lit up.
I can! We giants are excellent stonemakers, yeah. We have perfected the strongest stone possible. I don't know why I didn't think about it before.
He jumped up and crashed off towards his hut. Armo followed, still holding his sword. Hallmar led Armo around the back of his hut to an enormous workshop. Inside were dozens of bricks of all shapes and sizes.
We giants are so large, we've had to create a stone that will withhold our weight.
He handed a brick to Armo, small enough for him to be able to easily carry it. Armo took it in his hands. Sure enough, he could see and feel how strong the brick was.
Do you think you could make enough of these bricks to fix the hole in our wall?
He asked. Hallmar nodded eagerly. Armo grinned.
Then let's go speak to the elder.
He turned and started to run towards the door, but quickly realised Hallmar was stood still.
Will the elder listen to me?
He asked sadly. Armo thought for a moment.
I'll go speak to him first.
He decided.
And then you come and show him the brick. I'm sure this'll work. He's a very reasonable elf. Oh, and Hallmar, I'm very sorry we didn't listen to you sooner.
The new friends headed eagerly back to Barkhaven. Armo ran into the hall, where the elder was sat, staring thoughtfully out of the window.
Elder Jadden! We were mistaken. The giant isn't the great beast we thought he was. He's a guardian of the forest. And what's more, he can help us with the hole in the wall.
Armo beckoned Hallmar in. Jadden gasped and jumped back, but Hallmar held out the brick to show him. Jadden took it and examined it.
It's much stronger than the old bricks. It'll last much longer.
Jadden looked up into Hallmar's earnest face, then to Armo, who nodded. Very well. Giant, you shall make enough bricks to mend the damage that you caused. And we shall pardon you for your destruction. Hallmar eagerly agreed, and the next morning he arrived with enough bricks to mend the hole in the wall. The villagers of Barkhaven all watched, and as they watched, they realized that Hallmar was not to be afraid of. By the time the wall was fixed, Hallmar and the town of Barkhaven were lifelong friends. Well, there you have it. Yes, another truly amazing tale from the inspiration of a Bardling. Well done, Dylan. You are now most certainly a little Bardling. And you see, we must always give each other the chance to make amends for our mistakes. Oh yes. Now, if you would like to become a Bardling too, please do send your stories and ideas to me at bard.elven.tales@gmail.com. Oh, and do remember to like, share, and subscribe to this channel for more. And I'll see you soon for more Bard Elven Tales. Ha ha!